Hooch and stuff on the team, they still play that style. Adren was always really good at especially Cobble B is another example. When he comes in, he's from Rock. He's just really good at those long-range duels. Yeah. And that's something which is kind of Hooch and stuff on the team. They still play that more style. Adren was always really good at especially Cobble B is another example. When he comes in, he's from Rock. He's just really good at those long-range duels. And that's something which is kind of the tease and goes to some plays.
Andy in a Gambit jersey.
Something that's important to note as well, FaZe have only played Train once, and that was in their loss to Gambit, and they played Cash only 3 times, 2 of which have been one time against Ailu right now in the qualifier, and against Australis, which was a week before that. So not a map that they play that much. And that's that can be a good and a bad thing. There's a reason they prefer other maps, but also they might have been working on that map, and then it's more difficult for you to study them because there's just simply not that many games you can look through and then figure out how to play against them.
And if there's any kind of perhaps less seasoned viewers or unfamiliar viewers with what this FaZe project has kind of set about doing, not only have they gone hunting for the stars and found them, they've also found a lot of success, but also they're aiming for a 7-map pool. Yeah. And that's this is probably going to be a great event for us to see just how close they are to achieving that.
This is a great matchup for Gambit to test them. Yeah, I think this can be a test for FaZe, because if Gambit come out swinging and they, when they beat them last time, it was individual performances. It was Hobbit playing fantastically well, then winning like rounds that you wouldn't expect FaZe to lose. Like
FaZe losing 4 anti-ecos.
Exactly. So this is where the map pool right now is actually leaning away from what we've seen FaZe be successful on. If they can win this in the same dominant fashion that they have other matchups, that's huge.
Put it this way:
Last point,
if FaZe provides a strong performance on Train first, and again on Cash, if it comes to that, what do you pick against them?
There it is. That is scary stuff. From Yanko, Sponge, and myself, we bid adieu. Do bear in mind, though, that this is going to be a test for FaZe. Can FaZe Clan seriously prove that the 7-map pool dream could become a reality here in St. Petersburg? Let's head over to your casters, though. It's Henry G and Sadakis to guide you through our first map.
Adieu.
Hello there.
Good riddance. Hey,
wow.
How's it going?
It's all right. How are you?
I'm all right, yeah. We're sitting here in St. Petersburg, beautiful St. Petersburg, Russia.
Yeah.
Hanging out, and we get some good games today. This is another one that I think will be quite good.
Chair's nice and toasty from the Creamy Bears as well.
It's true, yeah.
They've kept it nice in here. They've gone for a few monster cans as well. There's like 6 or 7 going on.
1, Anders, 2, and this one's not really gone. 2, Anders, 3, Anders. What do you got over there? How many you got over there?
Got 3 as well.
Really?
So,
and that's Jason.
They've really gone for it. But
I wonder they can produce so much cream.
It's true. I guess that's their secret. FaZe, definitely the favourites going into this one, but you're a bit of a Gambit fan. Why do you think they can actually maybe take this serious?
Because Hobbit is the best player in the world.
So you keep saying. I hope he does perform. I do agree he's very, very good. They've got an incredible lineup, Gambit. I think Fitch is a perfect fit for the lineup. He seems to be fragging very well.
Yeah, no, Fitch is a huge surprise. I mean, they brought this guy in, no one knew anything about him, and suddenly he's epic. He's super good. And I think that it speaks quite a bit about the fact that Hobbit came into the lineup, did very well. Fitch comes in and does very well. They have raw talent, very good raw talent in the Kazakhstan region, the Gambit organization now. I think a lot of people, said, the major was a one-off for them. Well, let's look at it, because they've been quite consistent. Okay, maybe winning the major was a bit out of reach for what people would have expected, but they had a hell of a run to get there. Played against some incredible teams along the way. Probably one of the hardest paths you could have ever had to a major final, and pulled it off. And not only that, they still seem to be finding consistency at other events. Now, I think they went out in a group stage. Was it Cologne?
In Mykonos as well. They didn't do very well. But I think the addition of Fitch, he brings an amazing amount of firepower. I would say a lot more than what Zeus can offer. With the in-game leader situation now between Dosia and Adren. I guess Dosia, the main in-game coordinator, as they labelled it. That's going to be interesting to see how that develops, and maybe he can bring some new ideas there. As Chad pointed out, he's a very experienced player. But up against the firepower of FaZe, that is something very difficult to overcome. But I would say Gambit aren't far off the amount of firepower they can bring. Adren, if he turns up, Mo as well. Great AWP, Hobbit, as you pointed out. They've got a lot of talent in this lineup. Maybe not quite as much as FaZe, but still, they can go toe-to-toe. And on their day, I would say they can definitely beat them. So this should be a great series, and hopefully, when we see all 3 maps played, that would be quite nice today. Gambit versus FaZe, that's quite tantalizing. The current major champions up against the world's #1 team. That should be an epic game on paper. But for some reason, there's not as much hype as you'd imagine, right? It doesn't feel like Gambit, for me at least, are going to perform at that level again. But hopefully they do. It's going to be trying to kick things off. A map Gambit have always been very good on. So we'll see how things pan out here. Looks like we're ready But hopefully the pistol won't get too hyped until I see it.
Mind you, FaZe also good on train. Let's not.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Rule that out
Guardian on train,
stretch.
man. Like it's gonna be nuts.
Yeah, no, and I do agree with you. I mean, FaZe brings such a high peak at this point. It's very, very tough to go against them. But I think the discipline of Gambit, along with the skill, can be rewarding. Adren, good start. Mo, the 2 players you mentioned, each with a kill, and Mo follows it up to find Rain as well. Guardian with the only kill in between that goes the way of FaZe. Gambit has Fitch as well, watching the backside of the ladder. I think his gun may have just shown, so Guardian knows he's there.
That's a very fast execution. A heavy commitment from FaZe at the very start. The smokes, the Molotovs deployed, but coming out before they actually bloom. It's Mo and Adren doing work at the silent USPs. That's where they do their absolute best damage. Long range, single taps, and now it's a 4-on-2. Guardian and Nico, they do have the bomb, but how do they get into this one? Fitch in such a strong position, but this is the key interaction right now. If Nico could take down Fitch, bring it to a 3-on-2, they've still got time to work with here, and Fitch is looking in the wrong direction. He does recover, and he'll fall back surely at this point. Oh, nice shot.
Back off, and Fitch covers both, so nice shots indeed. Fitch showing again the skill that he possesses. And 1-0 for Gambit. Good start. You always want to get a good start, period. But against FaZe especially, you don't want to give them any leeway because at any point in time, any one of their players, and as a unit, they can break out and show immense skill that's hard to compensate for. So 1-0. They'll go into SMGs, and, well, actually, it's a good mix. They've got a scout and 2 rifles as well. 1 FAMAS, 1 M4A4.
Do indeed, preparing for that long range on D train. Definitely beneficial to have a few rifles to work with there. Scout as well, of course, and then a pretty full all-in play from FaZe. They've got a bit of residual cash with no nades here. Body armor as well, and a first shot from Nico. So deadly with that Desert Eagle as he opens things up, takes down Adren. Nice opening, but still a lot of work to do here. To get close to the bomb site, that's the problem. Unarmored heads in front of Dosia as he takes down Nico as well. Equals things out to a 4-on-4, does a little bit of damage to Rain and Guardian at the same time. Both the FaZe groups here towards Ivy and main entrance. Split up in pairs. Now the real hard work begins. You got that opening pick, sure, but you don't have to smoke with the bomb site. You don't have the flashbangs to get out of these choke points. Guardian ready and waiting. Be very good in the main entrance here. The bomb waits above Pop Dog. It's Dosia to push in and hopefully gain a bit of information here.
See if they will push through. It's Hobbit instead that gets down Kerrigan as they head to Ivy. He's gone very low though, so Olaf quite quickly disposes of him with the CZ-75. It's Rain that's gotten inside of the site as well from Pop Dog, but Dosia. He knew what was going on. He was able to find Rain immediately, and Mo gets Olaf immediately after. So the threat at Ivy gone. Guardian desperate for a bomb plant. Looks for the kill toward Fitch, but can't find the headshot. Fitch makes no mistake. They lose 2, but they keep the rifles up. Not the scout, but the rifles. I would say that's more important.
Indeed. Oh, here's the opening shot from Nico. What a shot it was as well. Good lord. Good night, Adren. Wasn't enough to get much more than that, but still not bad all the same. We're going to round number 3. Should be the pretty much full eco coming from FaZe there. Glocks across the board. And a chance for Gambit to allow the SMG, maybe of Hobbit, to push towards lower ramp, something like that, get a few frags here. They need to be over-aggressive as we head into Gambits with the clean sweep available for them here.
Guardian will go inside with Rain and Nico. The whole team, really, if we're frank about it. There's no investment at all, Hank. Not a penny spent. Saving it for Christmas shopping, perhaps, as Fitch takes down Rain. Good start. Adren and Fitch both in position to get to crossfires. Fitch has to back off. 5 HP. Picked apart by pistols, but Adren will do the rest. So 5 kills between the 2. And B site locked down. No plant, but again, no investment.
Yeah, indeed. No plants coming in at all so far for FaZe. I mean, money could be somewhat limited. Guardian definitely known as a player that joins in with the 4 spies and somewhat removes the all potential from himself, but he does have it this round. He will have only body armor that makes him very vulnerable to the M4s, the FAMAS, and especially that UMP as well with the run and gun approach he can have. We have got utility available for the FaZe side, and the game really begins at this point. A little bit of a bonus situation for Gambit, meaning they've got the lesser firepower. FAMAS in the hands of Fitch, and some good nades and a bit of aggression from Hobbit towards Ivy as well. Trying to push them back. Assert's dominance in this part of the map goes towards a dumpster if he wants. Good nade as well, straight in the face of Rain. Down to 45 points of health, and there it is, the dumpster position. This can be very difficult to flush him out of. They have to waste some utility as Nico can't find the opening pick. They're struggling somewhat. He's there by himself. That's an interesting approach with no real utility, just trying to force his way out with brute strength, but doesn't really work out for him whatsoever. 5-on-4, damage inflicted like we said at the start from the nades. It's up to Guardian now to really try and open things up for them.
Rain still waiting to see if anyone will push toward the Pop Dog ladder. Olofs has no idea.
Yeah, it's such a nice position.
He is, well, hang on, because he's checking the right side. Does he check the left?
I don't think so.
Over the dumpster, he's looking into the corner. I think he that was so close. He came so close to checking it, turns around and realizes, yes, Hobbit is in fact there.
Yeah, it's a really deep angle there. So he does tentatively check it, but you have to commit a little bit more than that. You don't want to waste utility in that sort of position, and it does come back to haunt him. Rain 40 HP, Guardian yet to really have any sort of impact here, and with this 5-on-3, Gambit don't need to overcommit. They've won the round here. Hold back, wait for the crossfires to enable themselves. It will be Dosia to go down here. Still some signs of life from FaZe.
He needs to be cautious of the fact that Hobbit has worked his way back down, Ivy. Made his way into Hell, and Rain's walking directly toward him. Tag to 19, but that's 2 players taken down from good positioning. The hands of Hobbit. Mo starts to work in. Guardian pulls one back. Bomb planted. Best chance for FaZe to win a round. They have to hold off the post-blank Kerrigan's position. Primed to do so because he pops out, and down goes Adrenaline Mo.
Here we go then. Hobbit, 20 HP, and not really in a position to win this round. Oh, it's Kerrigan actually hit the shot. I thought Guardian had that one for days. What a recovery that is. The in-game leader with 4 kills in total. A 5-on-3 situation. Pullback in FaZe's favor after losing 2 very questionable frags at the very start. Nico by himself a main entrance, and Olofmeister going down to the Ivy push. It was left in a very awkward situation for them. Bomb gets planted though. They find the trades needed outside, and then very good post-bomb positions as well. Kerrigan spraying them down from heaven. They had no idea who was up there. It's very sneaky from him. But now the game begins. We've got Mo on the AWP. FaZe of their first round on the board. Need to be quite careful here. Money will be tight if they lose this round. No real change of approach from Gambit so far. They have got 3 players towards our side, only 1 towards inner. Hobbit, he's holding towards Ivy as well. FaZe do go towards the brown holes at the very start, trying to push back any CT pushes there. Drop the Molotov, flashbang, stopping the AWP going towards the top ramp. Works out for them so far. This default, pretty classic stuff so far, stopping the CTs getting any sort of intel at the very start of the round.
Smokes go both directions at Ivy. Hobbit deploys one to counter off the one that they threw in with the Molotov. You might expect no one's going to be peeking it either way. Bounce Molotov down. That covers inside of the doorway at Pop Dog. I'm not sure if that one actually made it far enough. I think it did.
Yeah, it covers like the actual entrance as well. The flame spread, so you can drop one at the bottom of the ladder and that one as well. It means the CT falling back takes a lot of damage if they are waiting beneath. So far, so good for FaZe. Like we said, pushing the CTs back towards inner. They've got Pop Dog control now. Nico ready and waiting towards main entrance, trying to bleed the CTs out of utility, and as you can see, only 1 smoke remaining and a couple of HEs down to Dosia, who does manage to find the first shot here, trying to find the second, which he'll do in fantastic style as well. Nothing really coming back in return for FaZe whatsoever. Guardian's tagged up as well. That should be round done, and that's a harsh reset for FaZe as well.
FaZe gonna have to slow things down. Can't just walk into games and control them when Gambit, very tactical and thought out, is playing in this style, which can catch FaZe off. We'll see if this is where